That's a nice beer. Just having a Friday knockoff beer, if that's what you want to call it, here in Saigon. I'm in District 7 on a very smoggy afternoon. So let fly with any questions you've got about Vietnam and Saigon, and I'll probably prattle on for a little bit until some people come online. So I'm at this really cool little craft beer place in Phu My Hong. It's called Mr. Craft, and I haven't been here for a while. So I thought I needed to go and do something, so I thought I'd come and have a beer, a timely beer at this place, and they brew their own. They have their own beer under contract with another brewer in Saigon. It's pretty good. It's a lager, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's a lager. Pretty light. I think it's only about 4.5%. So that suits me at the moment. But yeah, nice little spot. Plenty of beers on tap. I think that they said they've got something like 30 beers on tap or something. So that's pretty cool. Let me just see if I can bring up the chat. Okay, it should pop up when it's ready to go. Yeah, so I hadn't planned on doing a live, but after today, when I decided I wanted to go around and do a video at one point, but then the smog was so heavy today, and it's just building and building around Saigon at the moment as we lead up into Tet. I just decided that I just didn't want to get around in it. So I ended up coming back home and making that post on my notes there on my channel, just letting people know that I don't think I'm going to do any vlogging per se until Tet comes around. So we've got another 2.5 weeks to go yet. So I'm trying to come up with ideas of what I can do in the meantime, videos that I can do in the meantime. So if you've got any, let me know. Or if there's anything you want to see. But the problem is that I'm going to have to do them either at home. I'm going to have to do sort of some kind of videos at home, sort of maybe lists or something like that. So I don't really know yet. I haven't decided. So it's just gone about 4 o'clock in Saigon. I think it might be getting up to about 4:30 actually. And I thought I'd come and have a knockoff beer here at this place called Mr. Craft, and they specialise in craft beers. It's not a bad little joint. It's been around a couple of years now, and I think they've got about 30 beers or something on tap. And I'm just getting stuck into one of theirs. I think they get a local brewer to contract brew their own beer. And it's pretty good. It's a lager at about 5%, so that's pretty good. You know, the craft beers are usually pretty heavy, so these days I'm pretty keen to keep off the heavy ones unless I'm gonna have a big night out. So it's nice to have just sort of, you know, a craft lager or something like that that's got a low alcohol percentage. I'm still getting over my cough, still getting over the bronchitis as well. But that's nearly done, so that's good. I'm starting to feel a lot better. Sorry about that. I might be coughing into the mic. But here it is. Yeah, it's a pretty good beer, pretty easy drinking. I can imagine knocking a few of these off. 80,000 for one beer, for one. So, you know, regular size beer at 80,000. It's not too bad, I suppose. Good taste though. Good. And this is the area. So I'm in Saigon, I'm in Ho Chi Minh City, in Phu My Hung in District 7, or the old District 7. Tan Hung, it's called these days. It's nice. Yeah, they've got about, I think they've got about 30 beers to choose from. I don't know if they're all on tap, but really cool. So Saigon's considered probably one of the leading cities in Southeast Asia, if not Asia. Don't quote me on that, for craft beer. It's long, you know, sort of since the craft beer scene kicked off in Vietnam around about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, maybe. Vietnam's been quite conducive to making craft beer, so it's become quite famous in the region for doing that. And, you know, countries where licensing for craft beers probably are not as flexible than Vietnam. Brewers in those countries have come to Vietnam for a number of years to get their beers contract brewed. So it has a good reputation for creating really good craft beer. There's a good scene here. There were 2 craft beer festivals consecutively over the last couple of weeks, which was really good. I went to one of them and that was fun. That was over in District 2. I enjoyed that. That was a small affair, but yeah, there was plenty there for any sort of beer lover to enjoy, so that was good. And then there was another one just last week. So yeah, it's still a good scene. It's gone through a bit of a dip in the last, you know, few years or so. Obviously, it struggled a little bit over COVID. I might have to. There's just some other guests there. I don't want to unduly get them, accidentally catch them in the feed there. I think my head's big enough to cover them. Hi there. Sorry, I can't really see your name. The interface for, I'm obviously on portrait. The interface is not very good for me to see, but hi. I'm just going to call you 4854. Sorry about that. It's very impersonal. I'm giving you a number. But thanks for tuning in. I actually don't even know why people say tuning in these days. I mean, we don't have to tune in, do we? It's a hangover from radio, I guess, radio and TV, where we had to tune in. So anyone younger than me might not realise that. So fire away with any questions you might have about my life or Vietnam. For anyone new watching, I've been living here since 2010. And I do this channel just to help people out and to improve my video making skills as well. So I've got a lot of videos on there to date about Vietnam. One of my most recent trips was down into the Mekong, so check those out if you haven't seen them before. This beer's really good. Sorry, I'm coughing into my mic. Apologies for that. Yeah, so this is going down pretty well. This is like 80,000 dong. I'm not really sure how much that is in dollars, US dollars. Maybe about 4, maybe less, $3.50 or something. So good value. Hey Young, how you going? Any news about the new virus there? To be honest, I've only kind of flicked past the headlines, you know. So I haven't really been reading into it. I see that it's coming up in my news feed a fair bit, and it seems to be getting pushed out there a little bit. So yeah, I don't really know. I've noticed that airports in the region have ramped up the screening of it. I don't know how they screen it. I guess they screen with temperature, you know, those sorts of things. Those heat cameras and stuff like that you walk through when you get into an airport. But there doesn't seem to be any sort of concern about it at the moment, as far as I can tell. No one's really talking about it. There's no hype about it, although it seems to be a bit of a, you know, a clickbaity topic to talk about. But I can only really talk for myself, and that is that I'm not, you know, especially after COVID and what happened, I'm not about to get amped up about it and be concerned about it. You know, so I don't know what everybody else's stance is on it. I haven't spoken to anyone about it, to be honest. And as usual, I'm assuming that the government here is, you know, keeping a watch on it. Yeah, so that's all I can really say about that. They were pretty interesting times. I was here when COVID kicked off. So whenever that was that January 19 or January 2020? I can't remember, but yeah, very interesting times back then. Jung, how about air pollution there and in Vietnam? Oh, well, I just mentioned it earlier, and I mentioned it in a live stream just a few days ago that leading up to Tet is a very polluted time of the year. It's very normal. I've been here for... Someone asked me this the other day. How many Tet festivals or Tet Lunar New Years have I been here for? And it turns out I've been here for 16. I can't believe it. And so, yeah, for as long as I can remember, it's always polluted at this time of year, and it's not good at the moment, I'll be honest about that. So I'm really thinking about how I can come up with videos that I can do in the coming weeks leading up to Tet, because usually once Tet arrives, things clear up you know. So, and then after that, things are sort of back to normal again, and we can expect blue skies. So, yeah, it's a real issue for me. I think I mentioned the other day in one of my live streams that it's a bit of a game breaker for me. With if it was like this for more than the lead up to TED every year, I wouldn't be able to live here. It's the only thing that would make me leave Saigon. Ultimately, though, I would love to be able to live by the coast somewhere, like Vung Tau or something like that. I know I'm cliched. I know I may come across as a bit of an old white guy from Australia wanting to go to Vung Tau, but it's a great little town. I love that area. I've always loved it. Obviously, the beaches aren't that great there, are they? But I love it for its food, and the people are wonderful there. It's not too far from Saigon. And of course, the new Long Tan airport is coming online. It's supposed to be coming online in June this year. So I think in terms of Vung Tau's attraction, I think it's just going to boom. I think that area is absolutely going to boom because you're going to get people. I know I'm getting sidetracked a little bit, Jung, from your original question, but I think Vung Tau is going to see this unprecedented boom, and I think that area is going to become a corridor from from Saigon all the way to Vung Tau, perhaps up to Ho Cham. So if anyone's familiar with Australia, which is where I'm from, you know, Brisbane, the city of Brisbane and the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast is becoming the corridor. It's becoming one of the biggest it's going to become one of the biggest sort of, what do you call them, metropolises in Australia in the coming decades, maybe even before that. So I think that, you know, already Vung Tau has been subsumed, if that's a word that I can use, by the local government here, and so it's part of Ho Chi Minh City. So it's just going to be boom time in those particular areas. So people are going to fly into Long Tan Airport, and then they're going to decide, am I going to go to Saigon, or should we just maybe stay in Vung Tau, or should we just go straight to Ho Cham or straight to, you know, places like Phan Thiet and Mui Ne. They may see some boom time as well, if I can say that. They may see some boom, if I can say that. So, you know, if I was investing, I'd be thinking about that region. So what do you call it? Southeast part there. Timmy, hello Matt. Hope all is well and have a great afternoon. Thank you, Timmy. Cheers, man. Yeah, things are pretty good. I'm just having a quiet beer. It's not a bad beer too, by the way. Just 5% alcohol volume, so all right, pretty good for me. Nice little lager. Thank you. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Kian, is it? Kian? I love your accent. It's very nice to get those comments because the comments vary from annoying Aussie accent to like yours. I love your accent. So it's always nice to hear the positive compliments, isn't it? So yeah, thanks for that. I don't know, it's changed a little bit probably over the years because I've lived here for 16 years, and I also lived in Japan for 3 years back in the early 90s. I'm showing my age now. So, you know, I think I guess you would call it accent, or the way my enunciation or whatever has changed a little bit in the past, wow, nearly 30 years. I think that's due to talking to a lot of people who are not native English speakers and trying to be understood, because I came from a regional area in Australia, so very knockabout kind of region. My accent reflected that. I grew up on a dairy farm. I grew up in regional Victoria near Melbourne, so yeah, it's changed a lot over the years in order to be understood, essentially. Any idea, Jung, any idea as to the source of pollution? It's a good question. I posted this today. There's a notes tab on YouTube channels, so you can leave messages and notes and photos and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more like social media, you know, a little bit more like Instagram or Facebook or something like that. That's something they've added over the years. And so you can sort of make announcements and stuff like that. And a few hours ago, I made I don't know if you call it an announcement. I posted about how the pollution is bugging me, and someone got back to me and said, "What's the cause of it?" So, and as a matter of fact, last night I decided to actually look it up. I had my own theories about why it gets so polluted at this time of year, and the main one that I could come up with was factories ramping up at this time of year to get all their jobs done, to get all their orders out, to get things done before the big holiday, and then of course the resultant sort of traffic with that, you know? So people commuting to work and also deliveries. If you're on the streets here at the moment, the streets are just rammed. It's building and building. We've still got what, a little bit more than 2 weeks to go until Tet actually comes around, and things are already building. So that would be one thing. The other thing is construction. We've got a lot of construction going on, a lot of roadworks going on, really big projects that are happening around Saigon, especially. I can't really talk for any other cities, but Saigon has some really massive projects going on at the moment. And also the weather. It's cooler, weather's cooler, no rain. Because of the lower temperatures, the pollution tends to stay lower to the ground because there's not hot air blowing it up into the atmosphere. Little to no wind. We don't have any wind really. There's a breeze, but you know, not enough to blow it away. So just this sort of combination of all these sorts of things that really contribute to it. But during Tet and after Tet, it'll clear up. I'm looking forward to it. Jung, you still hold on to the Aussie accent. Yeah, it's not through trying. It's just, you know, it's just what I've got, you know. So yeah, the accent really does hang about, for sure. I don't know what my friends probably think. They probably think, you know, anyone who's stayed behind in my hometown, they may think that I've started to sound a little bit posh or something like that, you know, a little bit, yeah, as we would say, posh or uppity or something like that. But that it's purely come about because of the need to be understood in this part of the world. Okay, Jung. Okay, cool. I'm glad you liked the explanation. Yep. Am I saying your name right? I'm assuming it's Jung. Your name's Jung. My Vietnamese is getting much better. I don't know about that. I think with learning Vietnamese, which I've been doing for a very long time, on and off, it's, I try to explain to people what it's like. And it's very, I compare it to when you decide to clean your house for the first time in a very long time, and you start cleaning, and it's not until you start cleaning the bench tops and cleaning the top of the bookcases and shelves and stuff like that, you run your finger along the top of it, that you realize how dirty your house is. And learning Vietnamese is like that. You at various points in the journey, you think that you've got a little bit of a handle on it, on the basics at least, and then it all turns. You start to learn more and more, and you study more and more, and then you realise how little you know, and it just gets worse. And it's so bad for your confidence. So at the moment, I'm in a rut with my Vietnamese. I think it's a case of, I think my best Vietnamese comes out when people actually talk to me and don't, you know, they treat me like, or they're patient. They're trying to encourage me to speak in a way, you know, without being too obvious, if that makes sense. When the focus gets on you and people are going, you know, my wife will say to me, come on, Matt, you speak Vietnamese, speak to them, or say this or say that. I'm like, the pressure's on, you know. And suddenly it all goes to shit. So, but thanks for the compliment. I'm going to order another beer, I think. Actually, if you're listening, you'll be able to hear whether I pronounce my order correctly or not. The pressure's on. It'll probably come out as blah. The young lady is taking somebody's order, so I don't want to yell out at the moment. Am I? Coming. Mobley nữa. Yeah. The ghee lager, ice cold malt lager. Yeah. M medium. Yeah. Come on in. Thank you. Her English sounds really good too. So, I mean, that's one of the challenges. Sorry, Huang. Sorry about that. Sorry, I was. I took a guess. I went. Is it Huang or Jung? So I went for Jung, which is quite a common name. So sorry about that. I'll call you Huang. Yeah, interesting. You say that you're not bad. Okay, thanks. Well, I don't pretend to speak Vietnamese with a Vietnamese accent. I just do my best, and I speak Vietnamese with an Aussie accent, but with a southern twang, if that's at all possible, because I really don't identify with central or northern Vietnamese, obviously, because I've never lived there. So I find it really hard to bring myself to pronounce words like, you know, like ye for example in the south would be z in Hanoi. I just can't bring myself to say it, you know, just because I live here. But interesting that you said you almost forgot your Vietnamese. Yeah, there might be a little bit of that. I think you tend to. It depends on the community that you're mixing with, I think. I mean, my English, probably my English fluency has gone to the pack a little bit over the years, and you use vocabulary that is just more practical and gets the job done, and words that people understand better, you know. So you tend to, a lot of the time I'm sort of saying things like, what's the word? What's the English word for that? You know? So I forget them these days. Even though I speak English every day at home because my wife speaks English. So, you know, she's basically got two native languages, you know, so, you know, we converse in English, of course. Here we go, it's on the way. Thank you, Em. Thank you very much. Oh. Looks really good, hey? I think they also give you I think it's like barley or something. Actually, I don't know what it is. It's either rice or barley or something like that. Yeah, this one is the house lager that they get contract brewed by a local Vietnamese brewery. The brewery that does it, it's actually sort of foreign started. The owners, the co-founders of it are foreign. But it all started here in Saigon. So it's quite good. 80,000 dong. So a little bit pricier than what you would pay on the street for a tiger or something like that. You know, probably pay, depending on your location on the street, you'd probably pay, what, somewhere between 20 and 40,000 for a beer this size. So this is probably at least double the cost. But it does taste better. I'll give it that. Yeah. So where are you watching from, Huang? Are you in Australia at the moment? Oh, in Melbourne. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm from Numurkah, 200 k's north of Melbourne, directly north, just north of Shepparton. I've got a brother who's still in Melbourne. So yeah, obviously I know it pretty well. So how often do you get back to Vietnam? Are you from Saigon? And probably the most important question, do you follow the footy? And who do you support? Maybe being, here we go, I'm profiling you, racially profiling you. If you're Vietnamese, there might be a chance you go for the Western Bulldogs. Oh, rakia. Okay. I'm the ruse. I don't. Yeah, I don't blame you. The roos have been terrible, haven't they? Okay, yeah, I've got an Aussie Vietnamese mate whose family are from Rakia. Yeah. He's from Brisbane though, but yeah, he goes to Rakia. He lives here. And he goes down to Rakia a little bit. I haven't actually been there yet. I'm pretty keen to go. I hear there's been a lot of development down there. There's a nice new waterfront and stuff like that, and a lot more sort of food options. And you know, he was amazed when he went down there one time and said there's like a Jollibee there, and I think there was a Macca's there or some McDonald's maybe. Definitely KFC. There'll be KFC there. But all that region is really developing. And I think you can take the ferry across to Phu Quoc, right? But yeah, my commiserations for following the ruse. Hopefully they'll turn the corner, but their coach has nearly had 5 years. So if they don't see any improvement this year, they might have to show him the door. Yeah, you haven't spent much time in your hometown. Yeah. Well, I think it's changed a lot. You'll probably be surprised when you go back. I don't know if you've seen the development of Ganya just nearby here. It's going crazy as well. I think Rakia is sort of going down the same sort of path, you know. But they're building this kind of Dubai-style development in Ganya. It's just phenomenal. I'm going to go down there soon. I've got to go down and check it out. They've reclaimed a lot of the land there, and they're building these waterfront properties and estates and a high-rise. They're going to put a big high-rise there as well, and it's going to become sort of the, what do you call it, the cruise ship kind of, the main cruise ship port for Vietnam. In Ganya. Um, Good question. I wouldn't mind living there myself. Um, I think from the outset, though, it'll be about investment. I think it's going to be a massive. They're going to build a train line, a railway down there as well, from Bentan, I think. Well, I think no jobs, but you're going to be able to take a train into the city, I'd say. They've also got plans to build a bridge over to Vung Tau. So they're going to build a bridge and a tunnel. A section of it will be a tunnel under the seabed. Yeah, I've seen the mock-up of it, and it's wild. It's crazy. So at the moment, these days you can take a ferry across from Ganya to Vung Tau. It takes about 30 minutes, so that gives you an idea of how far it is. So I'm assuming, the bridge and the tunnel, it might take you 15 minutes or something, maybe less, 10 minutes to cut across from Ganya to Vung Tau. It's just wild. They've just got really big picture plans for all that part. And I would be tempted, if I had the cash, I'd be tempted to invest. It's also a sensitive area as well because of the UNESCO parkland that's there, the swampland and all that sort of stuff. That's UNESCO. So they're going to have to be careful with that, but it's just phenomenal and it's underway. I've seen social media clips of it, of the layout that goes out into, I don't want to say the ocean or the bay, but it goes out into the water. It's just going to be phenomenal. And I'm assuming that all of that development is creating jobs as it is anyway. So, hopefully the locals down there, even though it's not a very big population, hopefully they've got a lot of jobs out of it and they're going to do well, hopefully. And it'd be a shock to the system, though. I know, that's the the paradox, I suppose, like when the rest of the world is talking about rising sea levels and also the fact that it's a swamp, Vietnam's like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and build this thing. So, we'll see. Maybe that particular area isn't so susceptible to it too much. But it must be fairly deep offshore if they're going to be able to accept cruise ships, So, fascinating. What time is it in Melbourne at the moment? Must be like 9 o'clock. Is it? No, 8 o'clock. Oh no, it's daylight saving, so 9 o'clock. And Huang, can you shed some light on the phenomenon of Aussies loving banh mi? I follow this page on Facebook that's called the Banh Mi Appreciation. I can't even remember the name of it. The Banh Mi Appreciation Society or something like that. And it's massive. They've got like 200,000 fans. I think it's was set up in Australia. And Yeah, crazy. Like it's just so popular. Yeah, I don't. I understand. I understand the popularity of banh mi among Australians because we love a good sanger. But it's just gone wild, you know, to the point of where I get the feeling that lot of Aussies think that the banh mi in Vietnam is of superior quality, which maybe it is in terms of ingredients and stuff like that. But as you well know, a banh mi is for the worker. You know, it's something to pick up for breakfast on the way to work, something to sort of fill a hole on the way to work. You know, it's not supposed to be a gourmet sandwich or whatever. Oh, you think it's just a fashion, and yeah, yeah, it may do. It may. Well, I think as soon as prices go up, you know, if people start paying $20 for a banh mi or something like that, the fad I think will disappear pretty quickly. You know. At Saigon, I like the name. Where is that? This is a craft beer place called Mr. Craft in Phu My Hung in Saigon, in District 7. I had to do a little errand and it's on the way back to my place. So I thought I'd pop in and have a sneaky couple of beers. And they do their own beer, or even though they don't brew it here, but they get someone to brew it for them. And it's a good one. Just a nice little lager. Yeah, it is a nice place. I'd show you a little bit more, but there's a fair few people here now, so we're probably 5 o'clock in the Arvo, so it's starting to fill up. When I got here, there was one other person here. But yeah, it's done really well. It's been here for a couple of years at least, maybe nearly 3 years, and they do good happy hours. They've got something like 30 different beers. I don't think they're all on tap, but they're big supporters of the local craft beer scene. So it's quite good. Prices vary depending on what you get. This one's 80,000, so I like it. Yeah. Grateful one, Ho Chi Minh City.
Chỉ có trang sức á, chỉ có trang sức là cái đáng thôi. Còn miếng
Yeah, so I got it.
là đáng tốt đó, đáng đó. Tròn đáng không. Đáng không bàn.
Holy crap. Manny Fresh. Are you doing like a night shift somewhere at 4 a.m. in Dallas? My God, I've never been to the States. I would love to go to the States. My wife's sister lives in the States, and I really need to go. And excuse me. She lives around sort of the southern part of the States, bourbon country, and I love a bourbon, and so yeah, I'd love to get there and do like a bourbon crawl, a distillery crawl in the States. So yeah, thanks for watching. 4 a.m. Maybe you're watching the tennis. Maybe you're into your tennis, so you're up early watching the tennis. It's probably a bit chilly there as well at the moment, is it? Does Dallas get chilly this time of year? Grateful one, how's the weather been this week? This time of year, the weather in Saigon is fantastic. I mean, you don't sweat, you know? That's my measurement. 11 months of the year, I sweat my ass off. So right now, yeah, there's no sweating to be had. So it's around about probably, without checking, probably high 20s, maybe 30. But low humidity, which is really good. The problem is at the moment is the pollution. I was talking about that earlier in the stream, that the only thing that's a sort of a deal breaker for me for living here is the smog. But fortunately, it's only this time of year leading up to Tet. We've still got a little bit over 2 weeks to go until Tet comes along. So every year it ramps up right about now, which is what's happening. It's quite heavy, so I'm trying to stay indoors as much as I can, even though I'm a very outdoorsy sort of person. So, but I know that once that comes around and once it's over, things will be really nice. Yeah, pollution's no good at all, man. Yeah, it's, you know, I'm biased. I've been living here for a long time now, and I think Saigon's the best city in Vietnam. And it's really, really the one thing that would make me leave. If we had months on end of smog, I just wouldn't live here. Thanks, Manny Fresh. Thank you. All right, thanks for subscribing. I'll try and bring you some exciting content from Vietnam. Yeah, pretty cold in over there at the moment. Yeah, we've been complaining recently because it's kind of chilly, and but then I have to pull myself up because I'm getting around in a t-shirt and shorts, you know. So it's not really cold. It's not really cold. It's just that we're so acclimatized to 33 degrees Celsius every day. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. And, you know, really high humidity all the time. So as soon as things dry out and get cool, we start to complain. Well, complain a little bit. Actually, it's great. Actually, I don't even know why we're complaining. It's just really nice for sleeping. It's hard to get up in the mornings, you know. So really good time of year, except for the smog. That's a good question. Is the pollution in Da Nang better? Yeah, I would say so. Da Nang is right on the beach. So right on the beach, much smaller population, very different climate, much less industry. So yeah, the pollution's, I don't know what it's like. I don't even know if they get pollution in Da Nang, to be honest. You would have to ask someone who lives up there that question, but I'd imagine that they don't get a hell of a lot. They would have a lot of onshore winds. I mean, the city is literally right on the beach, right on the coast there. So, whereas we're inland here, you know, and things tend to get a little bit trapped here. We don't get a lot of wind. Traditionally, we don't get much wind at all, so it's sort of, and we're very flat. Da Nang is surrounded by hills. We don't have any hills in sight here, you know, so we're just this flat bowl, really, you know, not that much, not that far above sea level. Huang. Oh yeah, it's been really hot. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Well, whenever the Australian Open rolls round, it's hot, isn't it? Dude, I grew up in northern Victoria. It's hotter than Melbourne. Sorry, I didn't mean to gaslight you, but is that what gaslighting is? Or one-upping you, trumping you? But yeah, I've noticed there's been a lot of bushfires. I'm wondering if those bushfires were intentionally lit or just from storms. You know, there's a lot of firebugs that get around and light those things. No worries, grateful one. Saigon, zero wind in Saigon. Yeah, it's very rare to get wind here. We're quite away from the coast, and yeah, we're just flat and low. We'll get the winds, of course, as you may know already. Saigon, I'm assuming you live here or you've been here before plenty of times. The winds will come in the rainy season just before the storm. You know, they'll push through and blow the storms in, you know, and it's pretty amazing. I love that time of year. Saigon, Nha Trang has better weather, less pollution, shorter rain, but still love Saigon. I'd have to agree with you. You know, I had my 40th birthday in Nha Trang many years ago. I used to go to Nha Trang a little bit, and I'm actually going to go for the first time in a long time after Tet. I'm going to do a motorbike ride, so I'm going to do a series of videos, and I'm going to do a loop around the north of Saigon. So I'm going to go to Tay Ninh, around the back to Da Lat, and then down to Nha Trang, and then back along the coast to Saigon. So yeah, I'm really keen to get back to Nha Trang. I always loved that town. The first time I went there was when I first came to Vietnam, which was back in 1999, I think it was, as a backpacker. Yeah. So I've had I've got very fond memories of Nha Trang. Had my 40th birthday there with a bunch of mates, had a good time. Stayed in a dump, not too far from Louisiane Brew House. It was very convenient. Huang, they have not catch anyone so far. I can't remember what that's in reference to. You'll have to remind me. Ah, the firebugs. Yeah. Yeah, they never seem to do it. It's pretty hard. I probably shouldn't say this, but maybe I shouldn't. But sometimes the firebugs come from within the fire department, or the volunteer fire department. I shouldn't say that, but you know, yeah, it's probably not the right thing to say, but it has happened before. So it makes it pretty hard for people to get done. But I mean, a lot of the time too, it's just by accident. You know, there might be someone throwing a cigarette out. You know, there might be a farmer working the land or something like that, and they spark something. I get that. There might be, you know, they're working with fuel and stuff like that, so it could ignite. You know, so yeah, it could be anything really.
Con kẹp bà Đức nữa, bà Đức có teo thấy không? Con teo à, mẹ con chấm. Nhưng mà chỉ kẹp luôn 5, 6, 7 đầu về. Nó là đừng đi đó. Nó là đừng đi đó còn được.
Well, I've been on an hour, so I might stay on another 5 minutes if anyone's got any more questions or any topics they want to talk about. Let me know. Then I'll probably have another beer here and then think about dinner. Yeah, mostly by lightning, yeah. Yeah, fair call.
nhưng mà phải uống điều chỉnh chất lượng. Cô vẫn ăn cơm.
Yeah. I don't think they have bushfires in Vietnam. Can't remember seeing one or hearing about one. It's mostly floods.
Ê, nhưng mà cái đó là nó không bị trục đường nha. Cái món này to này cái trong nhà còn có cái này cho ta nhặt.
Biết đây cái gì lắp camera lấy
Hey, morning, Boca. Good to hear from you. Oh, you're on your way to work. Yeah, there's someone who was here, or they're online still, in the chat. They're from Dallas, so it must be like, what, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It was 4 o'clock in the morning for them in Dallas. So, are you on your way to work in a car or on public transport? Huang. Oh, do I travel home much? I haven't been home for 2 years. I went home for Christmas 2 years ago. Is your home there? That's a really good question. For now it is, and well, I say for now. I've been here for 16 years. Yeah, we've got some decisions to make in the next 5 or whatever years as to how we're going to divide our time in Vietnam, Australia, and my wife's from the Philippines as well. So, you know, I love the Philippines. I love them all. I love Vietnam, Philippines and Australia. So we're going to, as we get older, we're going to have to work out what we're going to do. Because I've been here for so long, and she's been, she's been here for a long time as well. I don't want to just leave Vietnam one day and just go, okay, well that's Vietnam done, you know. You can't live here for so long and just go home one day, you know. Now, having said that, I've never been in this position before where I've lived in another country for so long. So I don't know how I'm going to react one day, because one day when we may need to go home for an extended period. So I don't want my time here to end just like that. I wanna always have a foot in Vietnam. Of course, I'll always have a foot in the Philippines, by virtue of being married to a Filipino, and obviously Australia. So hopefully, I've got these. I'm not getting emotional. I've got barley stuck in my throat. So I'm hoping in the next 5 years or so I'll have something set up where it's more so I can spend time sort of going around and spending my time in these cities, in countries. I actually, to be honest, I don't really want to travel too much elsewhere. You know, I want to go to the States, I want to go to the UK. I've never been to the UK, I'd love to do that. But I feel like there's so much unfinished business here in Vietnam. I'm still learning the culture. My language is still not good enough. That's a real sort of gauge for me, a real measurement for me as to how satisfied I am. I'm embarrassed about my level of Vietnamese language skills, so I want to get it to a really good level. And that's just a personal kind of goal of mine. Oh, so you're driving a truck. Okay, all right. Well, keep your eyes on the road. Keep your eyes on the road, your hands upon the wheel. Yeah, be careful. Juan, how's your Filipino? I don't speak any. I don't speak any Filipino or Tagalog whatsoever. I went through a little bit of a stage probably 5 or more years ago where I wanted to learn it, and when I was over in the Philippines I bought a couple of books, and it's a great language. It's such a good language to learn. You can actually hear it. It's nothing like Vietnamese. But because my wife's family and her extended family all speak English well, you know, I blame her, of course, but we sort of decided that there was really no need for me to learn it. Yeah, I know about 2 words. That's about it, and it's more practical for me to learn, to know Vietnamese. So, still hear the level of English. As soon as you get out of areas like this, it's challenging, So it's good to have a little bit of Vietnamese up your sleeve. But I reckon if I lived in the Philippines for about a year or so and studied and really got proactive with it, I could pick it up really quickly and it'd be better than my Vietnamese, Filipinos have a lot of dialects like Vietnamese, but I don't think it's as pronounced, and I think Tagalog across, I could be wrong by saying this, but I think Tagalog across the country is pretty much spoken in the same way. It's just that they have, like in Visayas, they have their own language, essentially. They have their own lingo. And the cities tend to have their own lingo, which makes it challenging. Yeah, so if I had my time again, if I was much younger, I'd learn that as well. I'd learn Filipino as well. It would help. I mean, the Filipino ear is very attuned to the American accent. So when you rock up to the Philippines with an Aussie accent, it's very challenging to be understood. But amazing country. I love the country. Filipinos are very warm, very welcoming, very hospitable, very friendly. And a country that Aussies, I'm going to talk from our point of view. Hung, you've been in the street, you're essentially Aussie and I'm Aussie. It's a place that's very unexplored by Aussies. Aussies tend to go to Bali, which is lovely. But the Philippines has 7,000 islands, and it's not that much further away, so it's just a country that gets missed, and it's amazing. The history is amazing. The beaches are as good as Australia's beaches and so on, so yeah. All right, guys, thanks for hanging around. Really appreciate it. It's good to talk to you. Good to meet you guys. There's been a few. Yeah, that's right, Hung. Yep. And in Vietnam as well. There's a lot of places in Vietnam I haven't explored yet, so pretty keen to do that in the next few years on the motorbike. But yeah, thanks for hanging around, and good to chat. Good to meet the new people in the chat. Probably with the pollution the way it is in the next couple of weeks, I'll probably do a few more live streams. So what I'll probably do is notify people. It's probably a good idea to do that. So, all right, take care wherever you are. Have a good weekend, and stay safe until I see you in the next one. Thanks, Huang. Cheers, man.